I was gonna say something really cringy, be like, hey, YouTube, it's me, yours. I shouldn't. That would be cringe. Okay, everything's working. Chatbox does not work because it's not set up for this. But eventually, maybe, bless you, shortcake. Eventually, maybe you guys will be there. Wait, should I also hide this? Shoto Monte. Hold on. There you go. That's good. Hi, Yursi. It's us, YouTube. It's a me, Yursi. I was gonna copy PewDiePie and be like, how's it going, YouTube? It's me, Yursi. But I was like, I can't. I'm cringing internally already. Heard you have the lore books. I got them too, and I love them. As D&D campaign brewing my brain for the setting. I have the Runeterra one for League of Legends, and I think that's it. But I remember reading the whole thing and being like, I gotta read it again. And then Arcane was out, and I was like, now that makes sense. And I was like, you're gonna make some chocolate cake, but I'll be lore. Can I have chocolate cake? Ugh, embrace the cringe. I am just a naturally highly anxious person. So doing anything new and breaking free of my haha funny like routine just makes me like fidget. Like I don't even know what to do with my hands right now. She does S-Way in her basement, so it could be. No, it's fine. It's fine. Boob got some comics. There's League of Legends comics. See, I love books. I will read books if they're interesting enough. The problem is I just don't have a lot of time and quietness to read said books. But I love books. What are you doing, Rev? The fake? Someone using for fixed future streams. You're streaming in 70/20. Was that an option on the thing?
Yeah, I didn't realize.
I didn't even realize either.
Yeah.
That's we need to up those. Well, I mean, it's still fine. The quality is okay, right? It's just not great. I hate that I have to Google some words. Wait, what words? Comics for Lux and Kata. Oh, I like Lux. See, I know of the League of Legends lore. I just don't know a lot about it. But Arcane was great. Loved Arcane. Always been a huge Jinx fan. I've seen the trailers and everything, like the music video things. Those are great. Is fine to make a note for next time. Okay, someone write that down. 720 still technically HD. Let's go. I don't know anything about tech. Like, it's bad. It's bad. I don't understand. All I know is that Skarta's race was genocide partially to power K-pop. You mean like KDA? Oh god. See, I know a little bit about League. The Elden Ring side of things, I am completely new. Like, completely noob. I don't know anything. Did I play Elden Ring? I played part of Elden Ring, I think. Hi, Trash. I mean, I always thought you were more of a Yordle person when you know they start with Y and they small too. No, I don't like the Yordles. No, I don't like the Yordles. My favorite League characters was Leona. I like Jinx. I liked Ahri. What else? What fucking else? Game say hi and send boobs, but I really gotta go eat. Night, you're doing well. Take it easy, Jim. So there's this ring. Okay. Do they throw it into a volcano? Why is Rom not a mod here? Because Rom's first day is here. And it's supposed to be his day off. You're like half into Elden Ring. I don't remember anything from it. I don't remember any lore from it either. I aren't ever been to that League of Legends. Okay, the gameplay, I don't like. I get very anxious. I used to just fight bots because I suffer from a skill issue with gaming. But there's a ring and it's probably old. I see where you're going with this now. I'm new on YouTube gamers. Want to give Rom the funky little wrench? I can give Rom the funky little wrench. Put user in timeout. Okay, sure. There you go. What about mods? I know, we're just saying Rom's first day on YouTube is here, so, you know. Don't forget to subscribe, Rom, because I know you're new here. You don't understand. You don't understand the pain that I go through. They were supposed to put rings in space to destroy the flood food source? Wait, what? League of Legends really fucking cringe, and know that my friend asked me to watch the finals in the cinema on Sunday and I'm going. Okay, I hate the game, but I love the character design. So it's like, once I'm hooked on that, I'm good. Also, I really hope you don't hear the fucking in the fucking background. Don't play if you have 4 friends by your side. I used to play with friends, and we used to play ranked, and that stressed me out because they were like, Yura, you have to time this perfectly, and I'm like, I don't know how to time things, I don't know when to use it, and I can't min-max things. I play games for the tee-hee-ha-ha funny, and if I can't do the tee-hee-ha-ha unga-bunga, then I don't play them. Got to show Rom the ropes? Yeah, Rom's gonna learn. I just opened the FAQ for modding here. Good luck, Rom. Good luck. The amount of shows and lore could make me touch that game. I like the shows, and I like the lore, and I like the character designs. I don't think I'll ever go back to playing the games either. I'll play, like, bots with friends, but I literally don't even have it installed. So I don't want to go through the whole process of reinstalling it and attempting to log back. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Wait, Rom? I know not. Rom's new here. First day. First day on YouTube's. If you don't have fun with friends, don't do it. Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel about it, right? Like, I have so many other games I could play with friends. Also, I'm sorry, I'm like fag burping. That it's not worth it to like queue up for a fight and just be miserable. Some people have fun with it, and that's fine. If you like playing it, go off. Not me. Not my cup of tea. I used to play League with friends, and I had fewer friends because some of them would rage way too hard. That's me. I would rage. I would rage so hard, and because I know I can't do it, which is the problem. First day on YouTube. Yeah, welcome, Ram. I still sub main and in hate rank, so you still play and just suffer. So remember Arcane coming out, all the League players tweeting PSA for people liking Arcane and thinking playing League don't. Yeah, but that's smart though, because it takes a certain kind of person to play League respectfully, and I mean this in the nicest way possible. You need to have like dedication and knowing like how to play the characters and kind of sort of being a little sweaty, and I can't do that. If I can't brain empty Unga Bunga and win sometimes, then you know. Oh, hey, Wit! Yeah, I used to play Ari. I played Ari, I played Jinx. Leona I really liked, because Leona was also a fucking meme. I think it's wrong to say LOL is no fun. No, it's definitely fun. And the graphics are great, and the characters are great, and it's fun. But if you're like me and it stresses you the fuck out, like, oh, I can't do it. I literally would like have like, my heart would race and I would panic. And it was dumb things like attacking tower. You know what I mean? League fundamentally is a good game. Community is a toxic mess. Yeah. Yeah, it is a little bit. I can't remember like the combinations for stuff, so I'd have to write it down, and then like, so my friend wrote me out like a guide, which is what I need. And I'm like, oh, I'll just follow the guide. It's a pattern. If this happens, do this. If this happens, do this. But then it'd be like completely situational, and you have to figure out what's happening. And then you have to figure out the other enemies. So you have to know the other enemies' things and what they were building to build other things. And I was like, this is too much. And that's where I like shut it down. Tend to rage and others don't know they're supposed to agree and side with me when I do. So don't play many MP games. That's totally fine. Like, I know myself as a gamer and how I am, so I can't play a lot of PvP. The most PvP I've done, and I've been actually sweaty on, is Splatoon. That's the one PvP game I got sweaty on, and it was only in the first game, and I got to S rank, and I was a sweaty gamer, and then I stopped. Only as good as my last game, and then I stopped playing competitive Splatoon. I was glad I stopped. Wait, there's voice in League? That's such a bad idea. I thought the chat box was bad, but they should have never added voice. Oh god, no. You have to know a lot. Yeah, and I don't have the patience or the memory capacity to remember all the League things. I just can't do that for any game, to be honest. Which gate? There's 3, right? Which gate? Gate? Gate, like the anime gate? Huh? You like your TFT? TFT's okay. Back League, yeah, so we're gonna do lore for Elden Ring today, and then eventually I want to do lore for League of Legends. There's a voice chat for pre-mates. Oh, okay, so it's not just random people. Instead of Discord, you use the in-game voice, but not with the not with the teammates? Voice chat, I just know Arcane. Well, like, a lot of people got into League because of Arcane. Who's the newest and the best bias? Wait. Oh, for Baldur's Gate? Is that what you guys are talking about? I don't know, like 90% of games. You guys are gonna learn really fast for anyone who's new here. I haven't played about 99.9% of games, and I am the pickiest person when it comes to games because I have to unga bunga and kind of sort of make it. That's like the best way I could describe it. Just with your friends, not random teammates. Oh, okay, so it's just friends. Okay, I was like, with your teammates kind of makes sense, but I thought you guys were saying you could only have voice chat with like the opposing team, and I'm like, that makes no sense. I love that YouTube chat isn't set up for you yet. Well, I mean, I've tried setting it up before. I have no fucking idea. I'm just a VTuber talking to my fucking screen. It's just normal. It's normal, isn't it? Oh god, now Baldur's Gate 3, Forgotten Realms. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to get into Baldur's Gate. That's too much thinking for me. That's too much for me. They were smart enough to not add voice chat with randoms. Yeah, that'd be so bad. Know how I can help you for next one? Okay. More lore I'm a nerd about Baldur's Gate? The only thing I know about Baldur's Gate is I keep calling him the Squiddler. I don't know his actual name. There's some vampire guy that everyone's obsessed with, Asterion or something like that. Then there's the Shadowheart elf girl that a lot of people are also down bad for. I was gonna say there's Dothraki, but that's the wrong thing. There's this green people that a lot of people don't like. Just too nervous to start the reaction. I am nervous. I'm like sweating right now. God. It's a lot better than I just saw they added voice chat and then flashbacks of magical the chat and voice. Yeah, and then everyone talking all at once. Not good. Tieflings? Aren't tieflings like gnomes? Dwarves? No? Baldur's 3 wasn't really a sequel though. I don't know anything about them. It's pretty much the key details. Yeah, it's like, oh, they get the Yankee. Yeah, they get the Yankee. Shadowheart is my waifu. I know a lot of people like Shadowheart. Haven't played in a bit, but my friends still play from time to time, so I know it's not with randoms. No, even like the Baldur's Gate that I watched, it was just a couple of goobers playing, and I was like, okay. The Drakari thing makes more sense now. Drakari? I just said Dothraki. No, did I say Dothraki? Huh? Love all the wolves on Fenrir. Okay, I know there's no wolves on Fenrir, whatever the frig it's called. Tieflings are half devils. Oh! Okay. Baldur's Gate is pretty much the D&D campaign. Yeah, I can appreciate D&D and the effort put into it, but I don't think I'd have the attention span and creativity and reactions and such to really play it. Because I'd probably play it for about 10 minutes, create my character, be so into it, and then kind of like fall off, if that makes sense. Baldur's Gate 3 I don't know much about, but I know Karlash and Shadowheart are pretty waifus. Yeah, I know they're cute. I've seen them. Cambion is half devil. The couch elves, when in doubt, couch elves. We're jumping from so many like fandoms right now. Went from like League of Legends to Baldur's Gate to, we didn't even talk about Elden Ring, which is what I'm supposed to be reacting to today. Because I know literally like I've played maybe 8 hours of the game. It's up to 8 to 15 hours. I'm not really sure. I really don't know a lot. Like if you're like, hey, I'll give you $1 million if you tell me something about the lore. I would not win that $1 million. I don't think I'd even win a dollar. Do some campaigns with some colleagues from time to time. Pizza, beer, and D&D shenanigans are time. See, but it's the people you spend the time with, right? Like I could also just invite friends over, watch dumb YouTube videos. I mean, board games are fun too. And like do stuff like that. It's like the people that you're with. At least I think so. I could be creative and all, but I'm poor and can't afford to hire friends. See, I just don't want the commitment to it, and then I'd forget. Like, if it was one of those things that was every week, and you're like, oh, every week we'll do D&D, I'd forget what happened the last time, and then I'd forget all the, like, not the controls, like, all the, like, the rules and everything, and I'd just be cooked. I'd literally just be cooked. Don't test me, I'll throw Genshin in the mix if I get the chance to. Oh, no, not Genshin. I did watch one of the videos that Rom sent me about Genshin. I literally wrote out, like, whenever something was interesting, one of them was just dragons. Haha. Used to DM regularly, lots of writing, world building. Yeah, that's like too much for me, and I'd forget. They'd be like, where are you again, Yura? I'm like, I don't know, probably a cat girl, and that's all I know. Main thing I want to advise, don't be afraid to pause and point out even stupid things. I will literally pause, go, heh, dragon these, and then play it again. Forget all the time that pains me. Yeah, Genshin is too impactful, it is. Well, you don't take notes? I mean, I'm a really good note taker, but, that's what I was doing when I was reacting to it with Rom, because I was watching the video while I was playing a game, and if ever something came up, I was like, frick these people, Rom, even though he was sleeping. But I sent like a whole like listed thing of things that I wanted to mention in the video. Though it's a DM's job to hook you up and so you don't remember. Yeah, but I'd forget everything. Just a cat girl, pretty unrealistic, you dropped the small part. Rom, why are you like this? Why are you like this? Hi, MG. Okay, are we ready now? It's been... I did not expect you to watch it day one. I was curious, and I was like, okay, I don't have anything else to watch, so I watched it, and I was curious. We're now working on Candela campaign. What's a Candela campaign? Not if you're interested. Well, I'm curious about things. It's just I don't always have the like attention span or like time to just sit down and watch a video. And that's why I was saying Tetra before, if I'm watching a video, I have to be doing something else because I can't have a single thought happening. Okay, so like yesterday I was watching the Genshin lore video because I want to get into that again and learn like that everything. But I was also playing Power Wash and also responding to DMs with things and also talking with Tetra at some point, and then I got up and walked away to talk, like pet the cat, and it's just very like all over the place. Mystery setting, huh? First D&D character I made was a female tabaxi, because if you give me the option to be a cat girl, I always take it. Cat girls are tabaxi? Cat girls are the best. I agree though, you have good taste, Bread. You have good, and your name is Bread, and Bread is like the best, so like you're just winning right now. I love Vaati. Oh, is that the thing that I'm learning about today? I think it starts with V. Hi, Victoria. That's what I'm saying. In D&D, a good DM will tailor the narrative to fit their players to keep them hooked. That's part of the struggle. But that's like so much. I could never be one. I'd forget. Hi, Bird. Okay, are we ready? I don't know. I know it was a competition. Cat girls are the best. Can't change my mind, Lamau. Okay, why are you laughing at me? Stop laughing. Stop.
I'm sorry to chime in. I just love the fact that, I know you saw my comment, but I just love that you look like a complete schizo with the empty chat box.
I am a schizo.
No, because like you're talking to nobody, because the chat box is just pure empty. So it's like, yeah, all these people I'm talking to, they're all the people in my head.
The people in my head, YouTube. I'm totally fine. Vaati is the go-to source for real. Yeah, I don't know anything. So I'm just putting like the preface down. I literally don't know anything. If you said, Yura, I'll give you like $1 million for every one thing you tell me, I don't know anything. We're not real. Man, I wish chat was real. Dang. Vaati could be good, just don't take what they say as factual. It's mostly speculation. That's one thing that bugs me about their videos. It's totally fine. I mean, I'll ask questions too. If I am curious about something, I'll be like, what does this mean? Or like, I don't know what this... Because it might connect to things that I'm starting from literally like a blank sheet. I'm here with all my friends moving in a rocking chair in a rubber room. You get a fucking rocking chair? What the? Hello? Rom's living the good life. What the? Give you $1 million, also I'm a chronic liar. Thanks, I'll appreciate it. Crazy, I was crazy once. Man, if only there was like a straitjacket toggle. Okay, all right, we're ready. Are we ready? I'm not ready. Okay, YouTube is now full screen. Let's go to live mode. Move over here. Hopefully up. Well, this is cool. Right, I forgot. Where am I, first of all? Scuff! Okay, internet's here, so that's cool. But where is my model?
Wait, what are you doing?
My model's gone. Wait, is it because I have this? Yo, I'm back! I'm back, chat. Space! Pretty background, thank you. Yura. Hi, Neffy. Where am my best content? I'm sorry. This is all new to me. We're in the void. Okay, but okay, I should probably also lower it because it might be, usually it's really fucking loud. So we'll test the volume for a second just to make sure everything's good. Yeah, I did an oopsie boopsie and I hid everything, which also hides my model, which is why I checked it before and then I hid it and it's like, yeah, okay. Is this too loud? Good. Because I'm gonna rewind. I just want to make sure it's not too loud or too quiet.
You can't hear it yet.
You can't hear it yet?
No.
Oh, hi, desktop audio muted.
so back up. So back up.
Back up. I'm not paying attention yet. This is brand new.
Our story
brand
doesn't
new.
begin.
Okay, there was no audio.
It begins
So it
in
was
the
too
cosmos,
quiet.
far away, with an outer god called the Greater Will. There are a lot of outer gods mentioned in Elden Ring.
So if I pause it, is that good? So I can finally start it?
I think the volume's good.
It's good.
But the rule of thumb I'm going to tell you, and even if it's in the video, it's fine.
Whenever
you want to talk, make sure you don't talk
Oh
over
no,
them.
I was
Make
just
sure you pause
texting to
and-
make sure it was good, and that's why I was taught. Okay, all right, now I'm actually gonna pay attention. Okay, now we're starting the video. Wow, first reaction. Hi YouTube, I don't know anything about this. Let's begin.
Our story doesn't begin in the lands between. It begins in the cosmos, far away, with an outer god called the Greater Will. There are a lot of outer gods mentioned in Elden Ring. You can think of these kind of like the Great Ones of Bloodborne. They're distant beings, they're all-powerful, and they're quite unknowable by design.
Isn't that what gods are? Anyway.
But many of these outer gods want to make their presence felt in the world. The Greater Will, maybe most of all. To this end, it sent a golden star hurtling towards the lands between. The Elden Star's incantation tells us that this golden...
Also, should I turn off the closed captions and move Walter? Yeah, okay. Give me a second. We're just gonna put this little guy over here. Whoop! And turn off closed captions. Okay, so far, gods, powerful, outer gods, not inner gods. Not to be confused. Something world. Greater Will being an outer god is speculation. Well, not anymore. Now it's real. Thought it was Elder Scrolls. It's Elden Ring. Yeah. For the golden throne where the emperor sits. I don't even know, man. I know there's golden trees.
Star was bearing a beast, an Elden beast. The Elden Remembrance calls it...
I've seen people fight this thing before. I've seen this thing. It's a little space worm. I've seen this thing. Spoilers.
A vassal beast of the Greater Will. If you didn't know, a vassal is someone who holds land on behalf of their overlord. Obviously, this is fitting in this case, because the Elden Beast occupied the lands between on behalf of the Greater Will, and was a living incarnation of the concept of order. As such, this beast would later become the Elden Ring. The Elden Ring...
So a beast becomes a ring after they occupied land. I'm getting it, Chad. If you own land... You're good. Okay, I got it. I got it. Glyph, lore frog and aneurysm. What? I don't know what any of this is.
Itself is made up of runes of power, some great, some small, that together represent a sort of logic for the world to follow. Thus, the Elden Ring represents order. The true nature of this order is a subject of constant debate and research undergone by fundamentalists. But two of the key fundamentals are the laws of causality and regression. You can think of the law of causality as cause and effect, where actions have consequences, and those consequences are new causes that branch out into infinity. These are the relationships between things. Then there's the law of regression that states that all things eternally yearn to converge and return to their roots. Fittingly, then, the Elden Ring is housed within the Erdtree, which towers...
Okay, so he said, hold on. One is cause and effect, but it branches out, and the other one regresses, so it goes back into one thing? You read the comments for the volume, definitely read them since there's not chat yet. Okay, I mean, I'm reading them. You could always rewind to... Yeah, but I'm just trying to think, because he's like, oh, it's like a tree, cause and effect. Cause and effect is one thing that happens because of something that happened, right? I'm terrible at explaining, right? But like cause and effect is something happens and then something as a result because of that thing happening happens. But then he's like, it's a tree, so it grows out. So that's, I gotta stop taking it so seriously. Let me rewind a little bit.
Consequences are new causes that branch out into infinity. These are the relationships between things.
Just use the
Then
arrow keys,
there's the
makes life
law
easier.
of regression that states that all things eternally yearn to converge and return to their roots. Fittingly, then, the Elden Ring is housed within the Erdtree, which towers over the lands between. But it's very important to stress that life in the lands between did not begin with the Erdtree, the Elden Ring, or the Elden Beast. No, the lands between were occupied well before the Greater Will came. There were other beings here. There were other factions here. There were other gods here. And there was even another great tree here before the Erdtree. And this is where
Okay, we have the Battle of the Trees. Okay, continue.
a huge twist regarding the Erdtree comes in. So, there are incantations in the game called Aspects of the Crucible, according to their description.
Is this the frog thing you guys were talking about? Because he looks like, you know, when the frogs are like he's got that like giant like frog thing going on, I think.
These are manifestations of the Erdtree's primal vital energies, and I quote, "They are an aspect of the primordial crucible where all life was once blended together." But how could all life be blended together in the Erdtree if the Erdtree appeared after life existed? Well, there can only be one answer, right? That the Erdtree is a parasite, and it took over a tree that existed here before. This ancient tree was called the Great Tree. So the Great Tree...
The Great Tree's a parasite? Okay, when he was saying, like, we all know what it's gonna be, I was not guessing parasite. I was... Okay, continue.
was almost certainly the location of this primordial crucible, and it must have been a very powerful primordial force for the Greater Will to have commandeered. It might even be the reason the Lands Between is important to the Greater Will in the first place. It also explains why spells and enemies related to the Great Tree's crucible would eventually be looked down upon. For example, the Knot Talisman is fashioned from a knotted vestige of the crucible, and it was considered a...
Okay, Crucible, because Sather said Crucible is like a manifestation of primal life, think animals and such. So this Crucible knot thing, which I'm gonna read the quote in a second, and it's also behind me. It's a manifestation of all life, but so like everything. It's a C tier tree. Okay, was considered a signifier of the divine in ancient times, but is now increasingly disdained as an impurity as civilization has advanced. So it got not so good. We have a tree tier list. Well, there's the glowy tree, which I already forgot the name of, and then there's the dead-looking tree. And apparently we're in a war of trees, but the glowing tree is a parasite. And then there's something that regresses to the roots, and then there's cause and effect. I'm learning a lot. I don't know what I'm learning, but I'm learning a lot. Hello, welcome in. A lot of speculation. Most of this isn't factual. Elden Ring lore isn't really explained. It's like a handful of notes like this. Is this the one with all like the books in it, right? Don't they have a bunch of books in the game that you could read and stuff? Maybe. Unless I'm remembering the wrong game.
signifier of the divine in ancient times, but is now increasingly disdained as an impurity as civilization has advanced. Enemies related to the Crucible are the Omen, the Misbegotten, and the Crucible Knights, and all three
Crucible Knight looks sick. Continue.
of them would be shunned, enslaved, or imprisoned. Those who speak for the Erdtree...
I've been in this area before. I was in here and I fell off the castle walls many times. And then there was some guy with a quest with, we got to find his son, and then it was not good. Spoilers if you haven't played, but I was in this area. I died many times here. That's why I remember it. I remember these motherfriggers. I remember them. Elden Ring is the mainless game with the Rune Bear. Rune Bears. I'd like to forget the Rune Bears. Thank you. Can't be a great game to subscribe to Ted to review. Yeah, not so great, are you, Mr. Tree, huh? It got so not good. It describes the story of every FromSoft game, so I'm getting it correct. It looked healthy to me, especially compared to the other guys with the glowy tree or the dead tree. Gonna Thrive makes the video and the comments are just legitimately screaming. Bunch of books, me thinking of Skyrim and Oblivion. Oh, that's probably what it is. There's item notes, limited dialogue for NPCs, and environmental storytelling. Old narratives told from world building. All I know is that I suffered. I got my butt handed to me several times. Rune bears chased after me. These guys were annoying, and I kept falling. Oh, wait, there's also the harpy people here. Fuck those harpies. I got stuck in a corner, and they hunted me down. That was not nice. Oh, it's all coming back to me now. Oh, my God. Fuck those harpy people. Okay, okay, back to the lore.
Don't want you to know its roots, so to speak. According to the spell, protection of the Erdtree, in the beginning everything was in opposition to the Erdtree, but through countless victories in war, it became the embodiment of order.
In Marika's own words, the Erdtree governs all. The choice
We're ruled by a tree?
is thine. Become one with the order, or divest thyself of it, to wallow at the fringes, a powerless upstart.
But the greater will...
Does she get your DMs there in trees? Doo-be-doo. And the harpies! You can't forget the harpies! I was there! I was literally there. They got me stuck in a corner and I was like, alright, just delete me, guys. And they were like, wah! And it was, oh my God, it was terrible. Harpy people, fun fact, they're the same race of these weird creatures worshipping the fire. They would worship the fire. They would. Elden Ring didn't interest me, not enough. Daka, well, I unga bunga'd it. So that was the best way I had fun. Did I even use anything? I just put on stuff that was handed to me, and I was like, yeah. And then I rolled onto the world, and then I remember being angry. Yeah, I'll see certain scenes. I don't know what this thing is. I'm gonna get this off the screen in a second because it looks a little funky. But if I see certain things, I'm like, I was there. You're learns lore as a zoomer. I'm not a zoomer. I when I see things that like make sense, I'm like, oh, I did that. The 2 fingers, nah, that don't look like fingers though. Nah, that don't look like fingers at all, man. Your fingers look like that? That's crazy. It's so zoomer coded. I don't know anything about this. I'm trying to learn. There's trees and there's evil things, and there's a good tree, and the tree's a parasite, and then the cause and effect, and yeah.
Needed more than a big tree. It needed loyal agents in the lands between. To this end, it has the 2 fingers, who are its envoys.
Okay, now I see the fingers.
The 2 fingers heirloom has a weird picture of them, but it reads, of course, fingers cannot speak, yet these are eloquent. Persistently they wriggle, spelling out mysteries in the air. Thus did we gain the words of our faith.
So they knew sign language, Pog, okay.
These words are interpreted by the finger readers. These are the undying old crones that you would have found throughout the lands between. They pass down the wisdom of the 2 fingers.
Why does she sit like me on a computer seat though? Just wondering, okay.
Or at least they used to.
Your fingers, please, your fingers. I can read them.
Most of them appear to have lost their purpose, and they're desperate to read your fingers and tell you annoying riddles.
I'm sorry, they're desperate to read your fingers. I'm sorry. Chad, I'm desperate to read your fingers. Okay, sorry.
Since their 2 fingers are likely dead. And yes, of course, there are multiple sets of 2 fingers. You would have found their corpses on the tops of the divine towers. Atop these towers, you loot the fingers in order to activate the true power of a great rune. Specifically though, you are giving benediction back to your great rune. You're taking a blessing back from the 2 dead fingers, essentially. This is just one of many blessings that the 2 fingers can bestow, and my point is kind of that the 2 fingers clearly have more than just influence. They have real power on some level. The Greater Will needs these powerful envoys and agents because, while it's obviously incredibly powerful, it does seem limited by a few things. First is space. The Greater Will didn't come to the lands between itself, it sent an elden beast to do its bidding instead. Second is time. There is a moment later in the game where your pair of 2 fingers go still because they're forced to commune with the Greater Will for guidance.
When they are finished, the fingers will again offer their guidance. But thousands, if not tens of thousands, of moons must first pass. no matter for me. But you, how will you ever manage to wait?
So the greater will.
What's the greater will? Something with fingers. That's all I got. The two fingers, they're there most of the time, but sometimes they're not there. But they're your fingers. This tells me nothing. I don't know what this means. I got distracted by the worm and kind of phased out for a bit. I'm not gonna lie. How many fingers can they read at once? Can you just putting? Wait, what if you're right? What if there were more than two fingers? Some of the fingers correct. They leave you on red. I just like they're there, but sometimes they're not there, and they don't listen to you, and they'll return. But they're also your fingers. I gotta lock the feck in, chat. I gotta lock in, man. I don't know what's happening, man. Also, they lost the hair. There were hairy fingers, and now they're bald fingers. What about 3 fingers? No, there's only 2. 3 fingers exist, but they're evil and pure chaos. Yeah, but sometimes they listen to you. Sometimes they listen to you, and sometimes they don't. I think. Okay.
Needs a physical manifestation of order. It needs
Just kidding. Hair's back.
envoys to convey its will, but what it also needs is a god. Introducing Marika the Eternal. I have this utterly enormous mind map of Elden Ring's lore, and there's a reason she's at the center. She's essentially the equivalent of Gwyn from Darksouls, except unlike Gwyn, Marika didn't just crawl out of the dark and find power. To an extent, it seems like she earned it. We don't know much about her origins, except that she is of the Numen race, which is actually an origin that you can choose in the character selection screen. Numen come from outside the lands between, and are supposed descendants of denizens of another world, long-lived but seldom born.
So Numens are like humans, but descended from the lady on the glowy ring? No, okay. Chris Mandel says research. I want so bad to have an image during that part of like, you know, like the meme where it's like conspiracy. Like I need that just right there. Newman have hairy fingers, I guess. This was contradicted in the DLC. Oh, so they're not actually descendants from the lady, but aliens. Aliens, chat. YouTube reaction really turned to Elden Ring trauma bonding. I don't know what's happening. Numens are humans from outside the realm between. Realm? But what realm? This Elden realm? The finger realm? I don't get it. I don't get it either. Kind of sounds like a ripoff of the Numerorians. I don't even know what that is. But the butt aliens? Just gonna be a stroke. I'm trying. They're throwing fancy words. I would be like, I like your funny words, Magic Man. Like, I don't know. I'm trying. I don't know anything. It's speculation just he poses as factual and big issue is Vadi's vids. Oh. Humans are the same race as Marika, the ringlady, not descended from her. Oh! So they're like... So they're not descendants, but they're cousins, kinda? I can't. What? Okay, so they're like her, but not really. Okay. Alright. Can we go back to the fingers? The fingers were funny. The finger rub. Because with Obama? No? Okay, I get fine. Fine, okay. What? We'll listen. Okay. Okay, human. So it's a race. Okay, same race. Okay. But then isn't she like godlike? Hold on. Let's reel it back a little bit. Hold on.
Like Gwyn, Marika didn't just crawl out of the dark and find power. To an extent, it seems like she earned it. We don't know much about her origins, except that she is of the Numen race, which is actually an origin that you can
So they don't know anything about her origins. They just said that, except she's a Numen race. Okay.
choose in the character selection screen. Numen come from outside the lands between, and are supposed descendants of denizens of another world, long-lived but seldom born. At some point, Marika was chosen as an Empyrean. What is an Empyrean? Well, an Empyrean is a being chosen by the fingers as a candidate for godhood. As an Empyrean, Marika received the aid of a shadow to do her bidding. So what is a shadow? Well, it's a wolf, shadowbound to its Empyrean by the two fingers. Lunar Princess Rani is another...
Hold up. Hold up. I was getting it, and I was like, okay.
The
Hold
shadow
on.
to do her bidding. So what is a shadow? Well,
Shadows are
it's a
wolves.
wolf, shadowbound to its Empyrean by the two fingers.
Two fingers.
Lunar Princess Rani is another example of an Empyrean with a shadowbound beast. You would have met Blythe. These creatures are the Empyrean's very own shadow. They are completely loyal to their needs and, by definition, incapable of treachery. Marika's shadow was a beast called Malakath. Every Empyrean uses their shadow in different ways, but Marika's sole need of her shadow was as a vessel to lock away destined death. So what is destined death? Well, according to Enya, it's the rune of death.
And we go back to the finger. Okay.
The rune of death goes by two names. The other is destined death.
We mentioned earlier that the Elden Ring is made up of runes, and at some point, maybe
That's the thing that makes the most sense right now. The Elden Ring was made of runes. Check. Got that. Understood. Okay.
when she was chosen as a god, Marika plucked the rune of death from the Elden Ring. She gave the rune of death to Malakath, her totally loyal shadow, who bore a black blade imbued with this rune. It's kind of genius, really. In a single act, she removed the concept of death from the lands between, while also commanding total control of death through her shadow, who could deliver it at her whim. Now, some of you might be asking, if death is removed from the lands between, how come I can kill this dog? First off, shame on you. Second, from a lore point of view, that dog isn't really dead. It's simply in the process of its spirit, or its soul, returning to the Erdtree. Catacomb
What a weird looking dog.
dungeons, for example, are specifically constructed near the roots of the Great Tree for this reason, so that the Erdtree can reabsorb their ashes back in.
Okay, so they don't actually die. Okay, their souls just get ripped out of them and kind of sit there. Okay, until they respawn, I guess? Okay.
Into it. This process replaced the concept of a death that you were destined to have. But this random spirit outside of a catacomb dungeon says it best.
Oh, I gotta read this. Hold on. A proper death means returning to the Erdtree.
Outside of a catacomb dungeon says it best.
Have patience until the time comes and the roots call to you. So they lose that when they quote unquote die, they lose their spirit, but they're not actually dead. But sometimes there's actual spirits instead of little wispy things that can talk to you in like whispers. Okay. I know you generally didn't know Elden Ring when she doesn't recognize a dog. It doesn't look like a dog. You don't die, your body just stops working and your soul separates. Yep. And that's why you collect the souls. It's all coming together now. Chad, it's converging, like they said, just like the tree. Okay. It's a meme. Is his name dog? So Batman logic, the guy's not dead, he's just sleeping forever. Turtles are dogs? Are you guys okay? It's a perfectly normal dog, what do you mean? Those don't look like the dogs I know. There's a dog pope. Okay, I'm listening. Do they explain that in this? Is it part of the lore? Is it also part of the tree that got touched by the fingers? That's also, what was the race again? I forgot what it was. They're Newmans? Yeah, the Newmans? I'm learning.
As another example of this theory, when you kill a major boss, you receive a remembrance of them. These are spirits, and they are hewn into the Erdtree. In this way, thanks to the Erdtree's grace, their spirits are immortalized, in a sense. This new form of death also explains what's happening when you summon spirits.
From ash and return to the Erdtree.
However, some spirits never return to the Erdtree, and they rise within death as corpses or skeletons instead.
Okay, so when you die, you either become a spirit that could possibly maybe come back to life, that could be summoned by people. I always use jellyfish, by the way, so I guess jellyfish spirit, sure. Or you could become a little skeleton guy. Okay, all right. Love to figure the tree witches so I can tell you who the dogs are. That's exactly what this video, that's what I've learned so far. That's what I've learned. Technically, instead of staying dead, everything in the lands between will keep getting reborn as long as the rune of death is bound to Malekith the Black Blade. He's trying to talk to me, chat. I swear. He's speaking words. What does this have to do with the fingers? The fingers... Maybe they'll explain it later. I'll get back to you on that. I was gonna say the fingers touch them, but I know the fingers only talk to people via quotation marks / American Sign Language. Yeah. Oh, I think you know. Hey, what? There are words here I can confirm. I'm getting it. I'm learning it. Finally, a dog that will live so long I could pass it on in my inheritance. You know what? You're not wrong. It's likelihood that poop-eating madman will insert a seed in people in this... What? Not the dung man. Oh, no. Okay, all right.
So this was the new order. And it's important to stress that it was in this moment, when the rune of death was removed, when destined death was taken, this is when order became the Golden Order.
The forbidden shadow plucked from the Golden Order upon its creation.
Specifically, this was Marika's Golden Order. So not only did she become a god and a vessel for the Elden Ring, she became renowned as Marika the Eternal for her removal of destined death. It was a huge part of her character and her reign as well. However, Marika had more than just death to conquer. She had wars to fight, as the world was occupied by many forces that could threaten her Golden Order.
That dragon thing looks sick. Okay.
There was war with the Stormlord, who likely ruled over Stormvale, and there was a war with the Giants, who were masters of a flame that could burn the Erdtree. There was war with the Ancient Dragons, who incidentally had stones that could twist time and thus slay a god. And finally...
Stones that could twist time and thus slay a god? Did I hear that right?
Who incidentally had stones that could twist time and thus slay a god.
Stones that could twist time and thus slay a god. Well, be careful, chat, of any stones nearby, because if it could slay a god, it could definitely take you out. I'm just throwing that out there. Don't take the seed from Dirty Man God. I'm learning a lot. You're taking notes? We're learning here. Yeah, I've heard about the loathsome dung eater. Okay, now I know it's a thing. God, I would... Now, if someone offered me $1 million for every lore thing that I got, I'm on lockdown right now. I can mention the fingers. I can mention the fingers signing to people. There's dragons that have rocks that can slay gods. Oh god, this is great. I'm learning a lot. Something about a fancy lady, but there's also like the same race that you could play as in the game. There's gonna be a test. The test is on Friday, chat. Get ready.
And finally, there was war brewing with the Carrion royalty, who had previously obeyed laws which contravened the Golden Order. Thus, sort of similar to how the Greater Will needed an Empyrean to enforce its will, Marika herself needed someone to wage war. So, there was to be a husband, a consort, an Elden Lord. The man chosen was Hoarah, a ferocious warrior who became known as the Lord of the Battlefield. His crown was warranted with strength, and while it was for this strength that Marika married him, he was also required to take a vow to conduct himself as a lord. To suppress the ceaseless lust for battle that raged within, Hoarah took the beast regent Sarosh upon his back. You'll notice this is another example of a beast being given for the purpose of serving order. Thus, in this moment, he went from being Hoarah, warrior, to Godfrey, the first Elden Lord, consort to Queen Marika, and a certified demigod. Godfrey and Marika had...
So wait, did he become a demigod because he took on that lion spirit thing? Or did he become a demigod because he already was one? Or because he married Marika? Suppressing his lust, I'm all for it now. Well, to become a lord married to Marika, you must suppress your lust, okay? Like his axe, he's got a really cool design. It's a really cool design. Like, I don't know what's happening, and it seems like the lion's kind of like giving him steppies, which maybe he's into. I'm not sure, but like, it's a pretty cool design. No, because he became Elden Lord. So if you become an Elden Lord, you become a demigod. Okay, all right, I'm learning. He married Marika. Wait, no, but he became a demigod because both of those things or because one of those things? Like, do you become a demigod if you marry America, or do you become a demigod because you became the Elden Lord? Pretty sure it's about the fingers. You might be right. You might be right. She doesn't need the fingers anymore. She's married. Both are synonymous. Okay, so you need both to unlock demigodness. Okay, all right. We're learning.
3 demigod children together. There was Godwyn the Golden, who you saw being killed in the opening trailer, and there were also the reviled Omen twins, Morgoth, who guards the Erdtree, and Mohg, who became Lord of Blood.
I think I know both those characters. Sounds super familiar.
You might think that Godric was another demigod child, but he actually wasn't. Instead, he was probably descended from Godwyn. Anyway, we'll talk about the demigods more in detail in
Gotta give him a hand.
another video, so subscribe for that. But for now, just know that Godfrey and his offspring were the first demigods, henceforth known as the Golden Lineage. In his wars, Godfrey led his 16 Crucible Knights into battle, who were named so for they fought with the primordial powers of the Erdtree. Their incantations were aspects of the Crucible itself, and they likely fought giants, dragons, the Stormlord, and more to usher in their age, the age of the Erdtree.
In Marika's own words, "Hark, brave warriors. Hark, my Lord Godfrey. We commend your deeds. Guidance hath delivered ye through each ordeal to the place ye stand. Put the giants to the sword and confine the flame atop the mount. Let a new epoch begin, an epoch glistening with life. Brandish the Elden Ring for the age of the Erdtree."
The Erdtree would go on to be largely seen as a blessing for all of those in the lands between.
But wasn't the Erdtree always a good thing? Because they're saying like, oh, the Erdtree's now a blessing. Wasn't it always kind of, I mean, I know it's a parasite now, but like, wasn't it always kind of a good thing? Right? One of my favorite tracks in this game. I'm sorry I paused it. Oh my god. I'm trying to learn about the tree. We're past the fingers. We're on the tree now, Chad. We're tree people. You have a finger on your... What? Huh?
Especially those close to it in Leyndell, the capital city of the Erdtree. The tree bestowed blessings. For example, the dew that dropped from its branches were like jewels. It loomed overhead as a constant reminder of order.
Wait a minute, it's split in half. The tree people, he didn't look very enthusiastic, that tree person. He kind of looked like he was in pain a little bit. Just a thing, naturally good or evil, it just is. But then it slowly became a blessing, because the lady was like, something epoch and the tree good, I think. The treeple.
And its roots reached far and wide, relieving many of the burden of death. In fact, Erdtree burial was one of the highest honors a hero could receive. One by one, the previous factions of the world fell. The giants were put to the sword, and their fell god was killed by Marika herself. The ancient dragons broke down the walls of Leyndell, but met fierce retaliation. However, I think the House of the Erdtree encountered the most trouble against the land to their southwest, Leonia. Here, the House of the Moon repelled their offensives time and time again. And I mean that literally, because there was not just one, but 2 wars fought here. And in both of these, there was no victory for the Golden, nor for the Moon.
Okay, so the Golden are supposed to be the super powerful, blessed by the gods, quote unquote. And did you say they fucking lost? They didn't win, either of them? Do you believe the tree is a conspiracy by Bigwood? It made people stronger tree, but it's kind of specific of who it blesses. And that's why they buried people underneath the Erdtree. Trees are all dumb figures.
And I suspect it was probably because of these lobsters. These damn things can snipe you from like a mile away.
Hold up.
There was no victory for the Golden, nor for the Moon. And I suspect it was probably because of these lobsters. These damn things can snipe you from like a mile away, and
They lost because of lobsters? Bruh, same. Okay, real. Yeah, those things beat me up. Okay, this is freaking lobsters. I call them crabs. Yeah, fucking lobsters. Me and homies hate lobsters. Dang.
And it's bullshit. Actually, it was probably because of the Carrier Knights, who, according to their weapons, were able to wield sorcerous battle skills, and despite numbering fewer than 20, this power made them a match for even the champions of gold in battle. These enchanted knights were anointed by the Lunar Queen, a young astrologer who went on to establish the House of Caria as royalty in this land. With her bewitching lunar magic, she won over the Academy of Raya Lucaria, where glintstone sorcery was studied, and
Also, this area fucking sucked. These guys beat me up. It was like 3-on-1. Fact these guys.
united the Carian royal family and the learned scholars of Raya Lucaria defended their home from the golden aggressors.
He just headbutted him.
At the head of this great golden army was Radagon.
Lord Radagon was a great...
Is this the dog with the hat? The Pope hat? Is what you guys are talking about? This is the dog. I'm learning. This is a Pope dog. Dog Pope. The Pope is a dog with a Pope hat. It's a dog. I'm learning, chat. George Pope. You're getting bullied by sorcerers, ASMR. That's literally what they did. They were so powerful. Like, of course, the other people lost to lobsters, even though it was a joke. Those sorcerer people don't mess around. Lobsters betrayed by the salamanders for the tree god of chaos. It's all coming together now. No, not the poop dog. It's the Pope dog. It's the Pope. Ah, yes, dog. It's a dog. I've learned this.
great champion, possessed of flowing red locks. He came to these lands at the head of a great golden host. When he met Lady
Nice hat.
Renala in battle,
These two champions clashed, fell in love, and joined their houses.
Radagon once cleansed himself with celestial dew, repented his territorial aggressions, and swore his love to Renala. The order of the Erdtree and the fate of the moon were conjoined, and all the wounds of war forgiven.
You might think it strange that the Greater Will would permit this union, but it's not too odd, all things considered. As with most From Software games, sorcery and faith are just two sides of the same coin, and both of these powers stem from the cosmos. Radagon and Renala were known to have 3 children together. Lunar Princess Rani, who inherited her mother's propensity for lunar magic,
Okay.
Radan, who took after his father Radagon and would go on to master gravitational magic, and Rykard, who pioneered new hex sorceries and would go on to feed himself to a
I was gonna say, it seems like this third one didn't do so well. Unless they're talking about the snake, then okay. Okay.
great serpent. It follows that at some point after this, Marika began to harbor doubts. Doubts about the Golden Order, that she had had a hand in creating.
In Marika's own words, I declare mine intent to search the depths of the Golden Order through understanding of the proper way. Our faith, our grace is increased. Those blissful early days of blind belief are long past. My comrades, why must ye falter?
And it's at this point that we should talk about Marika's motivations, her character. This is surely going to
Okay, so just piece it together. Marika did all these things, made the golden whatever it was called, and then it was like, oh, damn, I think I messed up. Kinda. How was he beaten by the snake that don't have any fingers? Gave birth to a hikikomori, a madman, and a snake. Oh, so it was the snake. Because that guy was getting, like, beat up by that snake. Are you a man snake? What? Okay. So Rykard is a man snake. Okay. I mean, look at that profile picture. What? Of the statue?
be one of those huge points of debate in the coming years, but for now, my working theory is that she wanted to discover the truth behind order and the truth behind the greater will, and she believed that bonds had to be broken so that they could be better understood. She believed that there was great meaning to be found in hardship.
Queen Marika has high hopes for us, that we continue to struggle, unto eternity.
For Lord
Okay, I understand being able is kind of like a learn from your mistakes kind of thing, but the fact that guys like, yeah, she wants us to struggle, Lamau, very pog. That's how we learn. We're gonna struggle. Very cool. Now we're on the same page. We're all good. One thing to keep in mind with good world building, you never say exactly what something is. History and myth in IRL is filled with inaccuracies, contradictions, and holes, and fingers, and dogs, and trees, and roots. It's all come together now. We're converging.
Godfrey, his struggle ended at the end of his campaigns. According to his armor, he led the war against the giants, faced the Storm Lord alone. And then there came a moment when his last worthy enemy fell. And it was then, as the story is told, that the hue of Lord Godfrey's eyes faded. In truth, he was robbed of his grace. Then Marika sent him away.
So he was a demigod, and hold on, I'm gonna scroll back a little bit. She wants people to struggle. Yeah, she wants people to struggle, I think, to learn and to understand, because she's like, I made a mistake.
As the story is told, that the hue of Lord Godfrey's eyes faded. In truth, he was robbed of his grace.
Wait, I gotta go back a little more. Hold on. Okay.
Unto eternity.
For Lord Godfrey, his struggle ended at the end of his campaigns. According to his armor, he led the war against the giants, faced the Storm Lord alone. And then there came a moment when his last worthy enemy fell. And it was then, as the story is told, that the hue of Lord Godfrey's eyes faded.
Okay, so he defeated everyone and then was like, yo, I'm retiring. And then Marika said, nah, you have to keep fighting forever. And just, he lost everything? Man got bored, then dumped, and it seemed like she got rid of him. Elden Ring takes players years upon years after these events, so even the smaller we have is an unreliable narrator. I mean, they're doing the best they can. I'm just like, I don't even know. Godfrey was a demigod, then his wife divorced him and took his godhood and divorced. Yeah, it's pretty much what it sounds like, right? It's like, oh, you fought the last strongest person and you have nothing else to do. You want to retire? Psych! You're just gonna roam the world being a normal human now. I feel good, I got yeah, he was like fighting the entire time. He's like, I killed the last strongest person for you, America. And she was like, bored, next, rips everything from you, lol, have fun. Like, bro was just trying to retire.
In truth, he was robbed of his grace. Then Marika sent him away.
My lord, and thy warriors, I divest each of thee of thy grace. With thine eyes dimmed, ye will be driven from the lands between. Ye will wage war in a land afar, where ye will live and die.
This became known as the Long March of the Tarnished, as Godfrey and his tarnished descendants walked away from the lands between. But Queen Marika absolutely had a plan here, that Lord...
Yeah, that's so messed. I feel bad for the guy. Yeah, she literally was like, oh, you're done fighting? All right, I'm gonna rip everything from you, make the people that were worked under you, I think they said, like, it made it sound like it was, like, his, like, underlings or something, or children, I'm not sure. Yeah, literally took the kids in his godhood and said, go away. Damn, yeah, Marcus, what the fuck was she on, man? She just like, are you not entertained? Goodbye.
Godfrey and his descendants would one day return stronger, having struggled outside of grace.
Then, after thy death, I will give back what I once claimed, return to the lands between, wage war, and brandish the Elden Ring, grow strong in the face of death. Warriors of my lord, Lord Godfrey.
Soon after, she found a new husband. Either
Of course she did.
that or a new husband was found for her.
When Godfrey, first Elden Lord,
Her new husband's the dog pope? That's crazy.
was hounded from the lands between, Radagon left Rennala to return to the Erdtree capital, becoming Queen Marika's second husband and king consort, taking the title of Second Elden Lord. The mystery endures to this day. as to why Lord Radagon would cast Lady Renala aside, and moreover, why a mere champion would be chosen for the seat of Elden Lord.
Whatever the
So she's got a new guy, but the guy was also married to someone else, but left her, or am I reading that wrong? But there's reasons. I mean, I feel bad for the guy that got everything stripped from him. Radagon is just Marika. Oh, pulled a switcheroo. She split herself and banged. No, it's not herself. It's someone else, isn't it? Hold on. Let me see. Because now we got new guy here. Okay, we got new guy. Let's reel it back. Let's rewind a little bit.
Queen, Radagon left Renala to return to the Erdtree capital, becoming Queen Marika's second husband and king consort, taking the title of Second Elden Lord. The mystery endures to this day as to why Lord Radagon would cast Lady Renala aside, and moreover, why a mere champion would be chosen for the seat of Elden Lord.
Okay, so I was right. So he was in a relationship before, and then pretty much he was chosen, or he decided to go for it, and now he's trying to get with Marika, and now he's the second Elden Lord. Okay, Marika sucks and left Godfrey, and Radagon sucks and left Renala. Plot twist, they're the same person. What? Godfrey and Radagon is the same person? Oh. I was like, what the fact that like he dumped in? Just kidding. Psych. Puts on a mustache. It's me. Like I was like, damn. That she really need to fix herself. Not the first time that some guy married some goddess. It's where it gets confusing. Also, speculation ramps up here. Oh, okay. All right. So it's kinda, but not really. Okay. All right. There's some speculation. It's clear. I'm confused, but I'm trying to get there. Okay.
Whatever the case, as a part of this union, Radagon's prior 3 children with Renala became demigod stepchildren, granted grace thanks to their new family tree. Renala...
Convenient. I know this thing! Okay, is this one of the 3 children, the step demigod children?
...was broken by this, and so was her country, Leonia. The Queen's set reads, when Renala, head of both the Academy of Raya Lucaria and the Carian royal family, lost her husband Radagon, her heart went along with him. And then those at the Academy realized that Renala was no champion after all. In the wake of Radagon's betrayal and Renala's poor judgment, Leonia struggled with civil war, with the Academy of Raya Lucaria on one side and the Carian royals on the other. And it's here, during the age of the Erdtree, that Lunar Princess Rani, daughter of Renala and Radagon, stole a fragment of the Rune of Death.
It happened during the golden age of the Erdtree, long before the shattering of the Elden Ring. Someone stole a fragment of the Rune of Death from Malekith, the Black Blade.
As mentioned previously, Malekith...
How do you just steal it like that? Like, is it not guarded, or like people aware of it? She just went, hey, yoink. And like, then like, oh, someone stole it. And they just don't know? What?
Was Marika's shadow, and he had sealed destined death in a black blade. Then a fragment, only a fragment, of this Rune of Death was stolen. And once this happened, Malekith went a step further in protecting destined death. He bound the blade within his own flesh, such that none might rob death ever again. It was too late, however. This fragment of the Rune of Death was used immediately, that night, to kill a demigod, Marika's own son, Godwyn the Golden.
That was the first recorded death of a demigod in all history, and it became the catalyst.
Okay, didn't expect that. That was an M. Night Shyamalan plot twist that just took me out of nowhere. But I thought this was a still image, and the fact that that thing wriggled also creeps me out. Just steals a bit of it. Understand, I'm not gonna lie, it took her a lot of effort to steal it. Oh. I mean, I'm sure they're not gonna explain, like, and then she tiptoed into the fort, you know, but, like, it kind of makes sense. Sounds like Malekith should have been hired chief of security to... That's just crazy. It's a big plot drop. It's Godfrey's son, the one who was sent away. But they just... Hold on, I'm gonna roll back because I feel like that was a lot of really important stuff, and it was just like... Okay, so let me go back over here. So, this guy, this is Malekith, right? So, took the sword that has death in it, sealed it within himself so he couldn't steal from death ever again, and then bad things happened. Okay.
Further in protecting destined death, he bound the blade within his own flesh, such that none might rob death ever again. It was too late, however. This fragment of the Rune of Death was used immediately, that night, to kill a demigod, Marika's own son, Godwyn the Golden.
That was the first recorded death of a demigod in all history, and it became the catalyst. Soon, the Elden Ring was smashed, and thus sprang forth the war known as the Shattering.
Now, there is a lot of really credible evidence that Marika was behind this plot to have a fragment of the Rune of Death stolen. There's also a ton of evidence that Marika is behind the entirety of your Tarnished quest, but we'll talk about that in another video. For now, all you really need to know, in terms of the timeline at least, is this. After the marriage of Marika and Radagon, and after a fragment of the Rune of Death was stolen, Marika went on to shatter the Elden Ring, and Radagon attempted to repair it, to no avail. The Elden Ring had been broken into runes, some great and some small.
You know, it's said that Lord Radagon harbored a secret. A famed sculptor of the Erdtree capital was once summoned to render Lord Radagon's likeness in giant stature, when he glimpsed the skeleton in Radagon's closet. And as such, it's said the great statue harbors his secret too.
Of course, the huge twist in Elden Ring is that Radagon is Marika, or depending on what you believe, he became her, for she knew it was going to happen.
In Marika's own words, O Radagon, leal hound of the Golden Order, thou art yet to become me.
So she knew that. That's crazy. Is that why? Wait, is that the one she sent away or the one that she remarried? Because the names are still not sticking with me. Again, the same person, they both suck. Yeah, well, she's like, I knew you were going to become me, Lamau. Things that are discussed with Marika being behind this murder are pure speculation. I personally have a different theory, but that's for after. Well, I mean, if we could listen to different ones after this, because I'm learning things. Again, the same person. I read that. And once she remarried. Okay, the one she remarried. Okay, so she remarried herself. Oh, that's why you guys were making the jokes. That didn't click before. Oh, that's where the speculation is. Was Marika and Radagon always one or not? At least the point where they were separate. Well, I mean, technically she married herself. So technically, if you're a different person that becomes that, you know. Yeah, this is confusing. Okay, all right. Yeah, I explained more about memes and quips. It's fine. Separate person, but the same body, so they're on. Okay. She's a god. She can theoretically spit it. That's true. Yeah, she definitely has a little bit more power. Okay. New way to fuck yourself over. Okay, all right. Interesting. Okay, let them cook. Maybe. I don't know if we really want to let her cook, but we're going to let her cook, I guess.
Thou art yet to become a god. Let us be shattered. Both. Mine other self.
You can tell when From Software is keeping something a little bit open-ended, and of everything in Elden Ring's lore, this will also go on to be one of the biggest unknowns as we move forward. For example, the wording, thou art yet to become me, reinforces that Marika and Radagon were two separate entities before the Shattering. However...
Yeah, literally, there's two separate entities before the Shattering, okay? Marrying yourself with a narcissist, you would make a good content creator. Dang, imagine having two of yourself. Everything in Elden Ring is a dumpster fire of speculation. But it's interesting how they view them. Because, like, when I was playing the game, I didn't get any of this. So there's a lot. A lot of good stuff answered in DLC that didn't exist when this one came out, although it added more questions than answers. Well, that's what they're saying. They want it kind of open-ended, and they want certain things being like, no, this is it. It's how you do good world building. You don't explain your magic. The mystery is the hook. Yeah, because then different people, it's just like the tree. Then different people branch off with different things. It's cause and effect. That's why they said at the beginning, oh my god, they're Gigabrain.
In contrast, there is also evidence that Radagon was always part of Marika. For example, Enya says that
the demigods are each and all the direct offspring of Queen Marika.
But how can this be if Radagon married Renala and had those demigod children? The only way that makes sense is if Radagon was always Marika and he just went over there to seduce Renala long ago. I'll present more concrete theories in the future, but on this matter, the most important thing is, what do you think? While you can figure out a ton of Elden Ring's
Trick question, I don't even think.
story, not all of it is open to interpretation. Certain things are, and this is one of them. And your interpretation is a big part of what makes this story special. At any rate, the union of Radagon and Marika seems to be a union of two fundamental opposing laws of the Golden Order. We mentioned these laws earlier, actually. There's the law of causality, and Marika is an agent of cause and effect. And there's the law of regression, as Radagon is a character who aspires to be complete.
It's circled back. Gigabrain, cause and effect, oh my god, they're one and the same. Trick question, they're trying to distract us from the fingers. The fingers aren't part of this anymore. We left the fingers in the past. It was all about merging into the same person, and it's the finger. No fingers. No. Remember Inuyasha? If you did just think Naruto and his incarnations. No, I don't remember any of that.
And regress together. So I have a theory that forcing these two beings that represent these concepts together would have corrected Marika's deviance. But even so, she was imprisoned in the Erdtree for the crime of the Shattering.
Marika's trespass demanded a heavy sentence. But even in shackles, she remains a god, and the visions...
I thought she broke she's in shackles? I thought she broke the Elden Ring. Isn't this thing the symbolization of the Elden Ring? No? No?
Vessel.
The conjoined Radagon and Marika even had two demigod children of their own, Mikola and Millennia. These two children were born afflicted. Mikola was cursed with eternal childhood, and Millennia harbored a horrific rot within. Even so, these two children were both chosen as Empyreans. They were immensely sacred beings and eligible to inherit godhood from the greater.
Oh, she broke the Elden Ring. She became shackled by its fragments. Oh, okay. How she turned to space lappers? Wait, Marika's the space worm thing?
Will. Perhaps the greater will was just desperate to find a worthy successor. And indeed, in the Shattering War to come, many would try to claim the shards of the Elden Ring, and they would try to take the throne, including, of course, the Tarnished, who returned from their long march at long last, which we'll talk about in the next main lore video. I should probably also mention here that if you become a patron, you'll see upcoming lore videos early, as that's one of the rewards you get if you pledge to the $3 tier. And if you think my channel really adds a lot of value to the Souls games for you to the point where you pledge $20, then in this...
I mean, this guy's taught me a lot, I'm not gonna lie. We've learned a lot. I think
tier,
it's nearing the
you'll
end, though.
receive a new mug every 3 months that has a unique design on it, to do with the games by From Software. There are 4 to collect. The first one you'll get is inspired by Darksouls, then Elden Ring, then Sekiro, and finally Bloodborne. And they all have fantastic art that I worked on with an amazing artist named Chu. But anyway, I figured this is the right place to end this video because the information here is going to be overwhelming. I bet it probably was too overwhelming.
A little bit. I got some of it. Don't worry, you're doing great.
You know, it took me ages to commit these names and the relationships they had with other characters to memory, so I hope you guys are doing alright. One thing that helped me a lot was that we designed an enormous mind map with...
This is insane. The planning he did for this is actually crazy. Mad respect.
Pretty much all of Elden Ring's lore, all of its item descriptions, all of its dialogues, all of the relationships between characters that we can think of. We added all of this together and it helped a ton in learning about the story and visualizing it all. And one day I will make this asset available to you all because I think after doing it, I think this is the quintessential way to piece together the story, and I think giving you guys this asset eventually will make that accessible for people, so I'm really excited about that. I want to thank Absa and Zard for accepting the paid task of helping me put all the raw data into this mind map.
It's pretty much wrapping up at this point. He's doing thank yous, unless there's a little bit more at the end. I'm kind of curious because I usually like watching to the end, so I'm just gonna wait.
That I could better understand everything. I want to thank Paragod for fulfilling all of my footage requests and creating so many cinematic scenes for this.
Also, this fight right here is giving me such PTSD because it's exactly what happened. It looks exactly like my fucking playthrough.
Video and for you all to enjoy. And I last of all want to thank John Devlin for the incredible thumbnail. And of course, thank you for watching. There are some really exciting things ahead, and I actually believe this might be the best story that From Software have ever put together. I just think not only are there so many amazing item descriptions, but so many of them are impactful. There are so many moments where you piece together the story and have like a eureka moment, and I'm enjoying it so much. But now I'm gonna go and play the game a little bit because I've been editing this video for too long.
Okay.
So,
yeah, he's wrapping
see you
it
next
up.
time.
Okay, so we learned a lot. I think I'm gonna go back to my just chatting screen because that's pretty much everything for now. Then I can minimize this. So let me just hide this super quick. Let me go back to just chatting. We'll go back over here. So we learned a lot. We learned a lot, but yeah, my music's back on. We're good. We're good. Music's back on. We learned a lot. I learned turtle-looking things are called dogs. America is an absolute bench. She made a copy of herself, the same entity, but not really, so they could turn into myself. And then sort of, kind of, not really as well. And then, yeah, demigods. That was a lot. That was a lot. He even said so himself that he kind of felt like he jumped around, which I kind of also, like, because I'm, like, blank slate, I understand that to an extent as well. But I feel like we kind of learned a lot.
I think you did really well. And
yeah,
this part doesn't go into the long form, so I can
no,
talk
it's
a little
fine.
bit more. You did great.
Yeah.
First time, I think you were nervous in the beginning.
Yeah, it was.
I think you were gonna. I think when somebody watches this as the long form, you are going to cause some people to have strokes.
I'm sorry. Sorry, YouTube fans. I'm sorry. I literally blank slate. I'm sorry.
No, I thought it was great. The second half, it was great. But I think people who go into this are not going to realize that you were basically just a shitter.
Yeah.
So
well,
they're going to go into this being like, oh, we're going to get to see somebody watch my lore, and they're like, she's not getting it. No, she's not getting it. No, it's not fingers. No, it's not shrink. It's not a parasite. What are you doing?
They said the tree was a parasite. I mean, the first, I'm not gonna lie, when I don't know what's happening, I make tee hee ha ha funny memes. That's my coping mechanism. For your butthole. I've seen that in the game, Greg. I know that meme. You did great, so don't worry about it. But at least they know that, like, hey, I'm trying to learn about it. I'm curious about it. It's interesting. It's so many, even the guy said in the video, the one who made the video, he's like, it's so many things at once, you might be confused. And, like, that's how I feel. Imagine learning something completely from scratch, and this is, like, the first thing you see. So, like, the only parts I knew were, like, hey, I fought those guys. I know anything about them. I know so it's completely crazy. Comment section is going to be equivalent of a digital psychiatric word. Well, like, they could tell me, like, hey, Yuri, you said this part, but that's not correct. That's fine. I don't mind, like, even if we're like, oh, I really liked how they said this part, but I think it's this. As long as it's not, like, a spoiler or anything to, like, something I might learn later, which I'll probably forget anyway, but it was fine. I was trapped in a corner here. I was, though. You didn't understand a bunch, though. I had to, like, reel it back, because I was like, okay. It was like, and then she remarried. And I was like, what? She remarried? You learned more than I ever could? I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
You doubled the length of it.
I know.
You doubled the length of it.
I mean, we did talk for, like, 40 minutes, but yeah.
No, regardless of the 40 minutes. You've been going for an hour and 30.
Oh, yeah, I know. Try really helping you keep on topic. At least you've learned a lot about dogs and fingers. I learned a lot about dogs and fingers and demigods, and that if someone is not fighting enough for you, you have them retire and then rip their demigod powers away and then remarry. So you could be like, ha, remarried, doing good without you. But also, like, it's just yourself. Which still throws me for a loop. Good for a stream, though. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I was really, really nervous about it because when I'm just listening and sitting here sometimes, I kind of, like, zone out because I'm like, and then I gotta, like, go back in because I was like, there were, like, something divorce, and I was like, hold up. Like, so, like, I was like, I gotta reel it back a little bit because I kind of zoned out, because, like, there are times where I'd be looking at the background, I'm like, dang, his hair is really red. Is he wearing a skirt? That's interesting. Why is his hair so red in comparison? And then I missed the whole thing, and I'm like, oh god, I gotta rewind. Okay. learned about rough divorce court. It's in the lands between. Yeah, it's in the lands between.
Yeah,
And then a bunch of like new names that I didn't know, and like usually it's like, oh, it's the one that starts with an M. And then there was several names that start with an M, and I was like, fact, all I know is America because it sounds like America, and that's easy to remember. And then I forgot the other one. Renala's part of the. There's another divorce. Oh my god! Followed from the Tetra stream, both of you should be really good. Oh, I appreciate it. I'm just a funny guy over here. Okay. I'm trying my best. I don't usually do react content, but I've learned a lot from Tetra, and she's kind of like pieced it together. But I'm trying. America. That's the only reason why I knew her name, because it was like America. I was gonna make the comment too. I'm like, oh, so she's America. Okay, I've got it. That's the only reason why I remember.
How hard it was for me not to start cackling during.
I'm sorry. Sometimes I'm funny.
Oh my God.
We're supposed to distinguish between Renala and Ralana and Renala. That's gonna mess me up.
And Rani.
And Annie?
And Rani.
Rani.
There's Rani, Renala.
Just give them different names, man. Oh man, almost every name starts with a G, R, and M. The memes, that's because they had George R. R. Martin help write it.
Yeah, he did write it.
God, this would be George R. R. Martin. Dang. Next year my watch is on 4 hours. Can the mods alter time so I don't have to wait? And now you're asleep. Tell us made by George R. R. Martin, except for the there's a different variant of the same name. Oh man, that's crazy. Dang, why didn't I think of that? Rani, Renala, Radagon, yeah, and then I kept getting confused with the husbands, and I was like, what? Because it's like, you're a demigod, and you're a demigod, and just kidding, now you're a demigod. And I'm like, okay, alright. He's so full of himself, he wrote every character in his own initials. I wish I had that kind of narcissism sometimes, though. I'd be like, your name is Bob, because I can't think of a good name, so you're Bob. Alright, so we're gonna wrap it up there. Tomorrow I will be on, there's my Twitch. I was gonna say, there's my Twitch. I don't know what the heck I'm doing tomorrow, so we'll figure that out. But it might also be like a shorter one because I have to do some things later in the night. But if you wanna see me tee-hee ha-ha fun, I usually talk over the games in Twitch. It's not really react content, it's very different. But I appreciate you goobers hanging out with me, and I hope you have a good rest of your night. The music's gonna probably cut off because I don't have music on my just watching screen, but it's fine. But I appreciate you guys. I'll put the video out at some point.
Yeah, you can even don't even switch screens. You can literally just press N.
Just
like,
press
stop
end?
streaming.
Okay. Well, I'm seeing my cool thanks for watching screen.
Okay. I mean, again, it just will stop your music.
Sure. All right, but have a good rest of your night. Goodbye, everyone. Bye, 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 bye. Bye.